I shouldn't have looked back a second time, because that's when I realized it wasn't the snowman moving. It was the distance between us disappearing. The storm had come in hard overnight, wet, thick snow that muted the world like a heavy blanket. I stood at the kitchen sink with my coffee and watched the field behind my house turn into a blank page. No tire tracks, no deer paths, just smooth, untouched white. Then I saw it. A snowman, too tall to be cute, too crude to be a joke, standing dead center in the field. It wasn't even shaped right, more like 3 uneven lumps stacked in a hurry. Its arms were crooked branches, one longer than the other, angled up like it was trying to flag someone down. No scarf, no carrot nose, just a face punched in with holes that looked too deep. 2 eyes, a mouth, dark spots that drank in the daylight. I set my mug down. My brain tried to do the math. Neighbors? Kids? But the closest house is a half-mile away. Anyone walking out there would leave a mess of prints. I leaned closer to the glass. Nothing. Not a single footprint, not even a drag mark. It stood there like it had been placed from above. I told myself the wind had filled the tracks. I looked away to grab my phone to take a picture. When I looked back, the snowman was closer. Not by inches, by a full 10 feet. I felt it in my stomach, the way you feel a missing step on a staircase. It had been lined up near the 5th fence post. Now it was near the 4th. The camera wouldn't focus. The lens blurred and sharpened as if it couldn't decide what it was looking at. Still no footprints. I forced myself to breathe. I'd go out there, knock it apart, and laugh. My kettle clicked off behind me, a sharp, mundane sound. I flinched, glancing down for a split second to reach for the handle. When I looked up, the snowman was closer again. Now I could see the branches clearly. The left arm was a thick limb, pale as bone. The right was a twiggy fork like skeletal fingers. The holes in its face weren't rocks. They were just dark, round cavities bored straight into packed snow. I backed away. It was 7:42 a.m. I'd only been awake an hour. I shoved my feet into boots and yanked on my coat, not looking out the window again. At the front door I hesitated, then stepped out into the cold. I turned to the field. The snowman was now at the edge of the yard, aligned with the apple tree on my property line. It hadn't drifted. It was just there. Smooth snow between us, unbroken. No depressions where it stood. It looked like it was hovering a fraction above the ground. The mouth, which looked like a hole from the window, was actually a line of small punctures, like teeth marks bitten into the snow. A sudden creak came from the side of the house, the downspout contracting. I whipped my head toward the sound. In that fraction of a second, eyes off it, I felt something shift. I snapped my gaze back. The snowman was inside my yard. It was close enough that I could see the rough, hand-smeared ridges where it had been built. And on its chest, pressed into the snow like a stamp, was a shallow impression. A rectangle with rounded corners. The exact size of the phone in my pocket. My phone vibrated, a sharp buzz against my thigh. I didn't want to look away. I didn't want to drop my eyes for even a second. It buzzed again. Then a notification ping. In the dead quiet, I heard a faint, soft hiss, the sound of snow compressing. But the snow under the snowman was still perfectly smooth. I took one slow step backward. My phone lit up through my fabric. The message preview read, Don't blink. My eyelids spasmed. The cold made every blink feel like sandpaper. I forced them open, staring at those empty holes. Something dark glistened in one of them. A reflection, not of the sky, of my front door. In the snowman's left eye, I could see the pale rectangle of my doorway and a thin, vertical shadow standing in it. Tall, still, watching me watch it. I didn't turn around. I couldn't. My eyes watered, blurring the snowman's face into black streaks. My phone buzzed one last time. You looked away first. That's when I understood. The snowman wasn't crossing the field. It was waiting for the smallest mercy my body would give it. A blink, a flinch, a moment of darkness. Because every time the world disappeared from my eyes, it got to decide what the world looked like when it came back.
Thanks for sticking around until the end. If you found this a scary story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It really helps the channel out. See you guys next time.